here. I would actually say the Slark might be looking into an Orchid very early on this game because he's going to be able to just gank really actively with an item like that, silencing the Naga so she can't song until she has a Manta, picking off the Zeus without taking any damage here. I think it would be extremely valuable, but we'll have to see.
I mean, we talk so often about that Blink Dagger early in the game, but I really think Orchid is an item that a lot of Slarks really kind of just forget about buying to a certain extent. I think that's a good item on that hero. For Cloud9, they have the Venomancer, Zeus, and Jakiro, so now you have to decide which one of these is support. I've recently seen all of these run as support in multiple different facets, so now you're kind of curious into, like, is it a Venomancer support? Is that a Zeus support? You don't generally think of Zeus a good support or Venomancer as a good support. Recently, I've seen both of them play it as such, and they've done rather well. So now you have to kind of make the distinction as to, are these your two supports here, and this is kind of a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, the Venomancer I think could be played either way here. I really don't like Venomancer as a support too much, but the lineup here is all about doing damage over time so that anytime that Virtus Pro Polar goes for a direct brute force push, that they're forced back to the well. Essentially, whenever they get hit by the Poison Nova, they have to immediately TP home or they're going to die to the Zeus after that duration is about to take over because he's got that fatal damage. He's got that killing blow with the Thunder God's Wrath. So ideally, they're going to have more farm on the Venomancer than the Zeus, but that doesn't mean he's not a support. We've seen, obviously, you look at it and there's a lot more farm just being a very low level of role. But in this case, it looks like it's going to be a core Venom, which I do indeed like, and it is going to be that support Jakiro, leaving Bone 7 to pick up the Furion.
So the support Jakiro plus the support Zeus, this is not a dual support combo we've seen a lot of recently, but should be interesting. Worth noting, the support Omni Knight coming out, I believe, for Virtus Pro Polar. This is bold. And I can't say that I don't like it because anything that's different is interesting to me. And I don't see enough Omni Knight to be like, you know, okay, this is standard. Because it's clearly not. I mean, I'm down for it. We'll just have to see how it works for Virtus Pro Polar. They'll have, obviously, the early usage of the... God, I can't even think of the spell name now. I'm losing it. Oh, that's the one. Yeah. It's pretty good in this game, obviously.
Yeah.
And... on top of that, yeah, obviously the purification just to get the heals going on, especially inside of a Chronosphere and when you have somebody pounced up as well. So this is a really good choice, I think, but at the same time, it's a hero that he needs some. He's got some issues.
Certainly. I love the pick. I think Omninet's a really cool hero, but I think it's going to fail pretty hard here. The Venomancer can go for a Diffusal Blade pretty easily as like a second item, and the Naga Siren will go for one as well. So you're going to have a lot of purge effects nullifying two of the major spells of this hero, and yeah, unless they go for like a really tempo lineup where everybody is breaking down racks at like 20-25 minutes, which is not really what you want to do with a Slark Void Razer. Yeah, I don't see him being able to do much when it comes down to the mid game. Like, he's not going to farm up in a Refresher Orb, Aghanim Scepter, and he's going to be up against 2 Diffusals at least for Cloud9. So, yeah, I'm not really feeling the Omni Knight, but we'll see how it works.
This is like a bold pick at best, and this is just absolutely crazy at worst for them. So, this is going to be interesting to see how they do play with this, of course. There's always the chance that they can get ahead in the early game, but even if that's the case, then he could just come back and late game maybe tear this one up. So Virtus Pro Polar, again, this is a difficult matchup, and Cloud9 is no slouch. They're no easy team to roll over. And Virtus Pro Polar do have 2 matches on the docket today. First of which is this game, and second of which is going to be My Insanity versus Virtus Pro Polar a bit later. The in-between game will be EG versus Virtus Pro, and that's actually going to be jockeying for first place in Group A. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. So a lot of Dota Pit action today, a lot of playoff implications coming in. And, well, we'll get in some rosters here. For Cloud9, you've got Eternal Envy pulling your Naga Siren. Top rune, it's going to be Pylai Die as well, and the support Zeus. We'll have with the support Jakiro, AUI 2000. Mid lane, it is going to be Bone 7 playing your Nature's Prophet. Down bottom, it is going to be Fatsa playing your solo safe lane, Core Venomancer. And it'll be going up against maybe a duel, maybe a tri-lane. We'll see.
Yeah, I found it really interesting to be seeing kind of this aggro duel, at least, up top here. So they're going to be bringing the Naga Siren and the Jakiro to the enemy side of the map for the most part, but they're not going to be met with too much difficulty here. They know that Omni Knight is a weak lane support. He's not going to be harassing them back, and they honestly can go toe-to-toe pretty well with the Void and the Shadow Demon. They just don't have damage between the two of them. They have setup, but they don't have damage, and Naga Siren's a hero with 5 base armor, so going to be doing pretty well and harassing back the Void significantly. Looking over the side of VP Polar on the Dire here, we see on this safe lane for them, it is going to be the Faceless Void played by DK Phobos, supported by the Shadow Demon played by Lil. That's going to take us over to the mid lane where we have Mag standing in and playing the Razer for the mid. And down bottom we have a combo of Slark played by Illidan Stormrage and Omni Knight played by FNG.
So, interesting dueling setup coming up from both squads. Now, a lot of harass. This is going to be the issue. Although EE is out of mana now with his Riptide, AUI 2000, Liquid Fire. It's a free spell. And right now it's every 15, or rather 20 seconds, excuse me. But second level, it will go down. And as long as you continue to level that up, this is going to be a difficult lane for Virtus Pro Polar. They're going to lose a lot of regen very quickly. You can see the Faceless Void is already down to just 2 tangos, one of which is pooled. He still has the salve, obviously. EE is clearing up, and the last hits are actually going pretty well. They will use the disruption though, and they're gonna maybe just try to block him in. But Polar Lil's taking a lot of damage here. EE is gonna right click him down, and Lil actually blocked himself in, and EE gets the kill. They're gonna dual breath on Phobos. EE is trying to get out. He's gonna take some extra right click damage. The Soul Catcher still went. DK Phobos has to back away. He did have the time walk, but what a disaster coming out from Lil as he was stuck in his own illusion trap.
Wow, that is absolutely ridiculous. You want to go in melee range for that extra chance at the body block there. Up against the wall, it was almost guaranteed. But to block yourself in on top of that, there were just too many units, too many heroes stuck in the mix of things. And they're like, okay, well, we'll take that first blood pretty easily here. The very opposite of how you want your disruption to go. But yeah, just sometimes that's where the chips fall. Anyways, we're going to see a nice little pull from Lil here. He takes the double stacked hard camp and is able to pull the dire creeps to that. We'll see if Cloud9 can contest it now that EE has bottled up a lot more mana and HP. And yeah, he's going to have to take a couple creeps here to make it worth the creequilibrium shift.
I mean, yeah, this is the problem with this pull camp, is that it is you're able to contest it. You're able to get a lot of experience and gold, not just from your enemy's creeps, but from the jungle creeps as well. But they get shockwaved by that Satyr Tormentor, so they take a bit of damage. Down bottom, some harass going into Fata, and Pylai is supporting him. There was the repel into Illidan Stormrage, which is really good up against Pylai. His view swivelness is pretty much minimal if that repel is on Illidan Stormrage, or pretty much either hero for that matter. He is running out of clarities, the Omni Knight that is, so we'll have to see how this continues onward.
I haven't tested this out, but does the Dark Pact dispel his allied repel?
That's a good question.
Obviously, it is a strong dispel, so if it was a negative effect, like strictly, then obviously it would be removed. But this is an effect that can be applied to enemies, but generally speaking is considered positive. So
I hope it wouldn't be removed, but yeah. You never know. He has 2 points in Pouts, no points in Dark Pact yet. That's not super unusual, I suppose. So we actually have to wait and see until he skills it. But
yeah, but it is worth noting that the Slark Dark Pact does remove Venomous Gale. Again, it is a strong dispel, so Venomous Gale will be taken out. The Poison Sting, the Poison Nova will not. Actually going on Pylai here, he does have an Orb of Venom, so out of position, it's going to cost him a little bit of HP, but it's going to be that heal bomb that brings him down the rest. Or no, the Fata body blocks! Amazing play from Fata. Then he blocks him with the Blade Ward. There is no pounce. There is the turnaround. What a player, this Fata Venomancer. That was absolutely insane.
That was sick. It started off with the body blocks, like you mentioned. He's like, oh, there's the Plague Ward. By the way, you aren't leaving, my friend. Disruption top lane. They're going to go into AUI. Time walk in. AUI 2000 is going to fall. TP into Bone 7. Here. Can he get a double? It looks like he'll just get Lil for now. He will fall. DK Phobos, his time walk is done. Great Sprout going in as well. He's right-clicking him down. He's going to try to ensnare and will do so. No mana for Riptide. It's going to be 2 dead in this top lane. Double kill now coming out from Eternal Envy. And Cloud9 get off to a fast start, and they rotate up FNG, and he can't get anything out of it.
Man, if he was there a moment sooner, though, that would have been a huge turnaround on the Void, getting the heal bomb, but no, just a waste of TP and a half-mana Omni Knight.
And they're going to try to go on him, or at least put some Liquid Fire here. And all of a sudden, this top lane has devolved into chaos, and Cloud9 are happy to take the kills. And bottom lane, obviously, they get a big kill as well onto that Slark. So suddenly now it's not only CS that is going decently well for Cloud9, but a couple of kills that really just kind of break things wide open.
Yeah, you just look at that bottom lane, a Slark Omni Knight, and you're like, how does somebody die in that lane? But when Fata absolutely magnificently outplays you, it certainly can happen. ASUS 2000 is now going to be on the run here. DK Phobos is in pursuit. The heal bomb will be coming through very shortly, and ASUS 2000 looks to be slated to fall. No TP away, no tank goes through. He's going down, and Eternal Envy turns some damage onto Lil.
And Pilot Eye comes up to the lane. They don't have much mana to work with. In fact, there is going to be that repel up onto DK Phobos. He's going to time walk in. There's another heal going through. Pilot Die now getting chased down. They won't be able to get the kill. They're turning their attention towards the other two heroes. And Snare is still not ready. And there's going to be another TP repel.
With the Wrath of Nature, oh, the repel blocks the damage. He won't be able to go in for the last hit.
Yeah, he thought about TPing and decided against it. A lot of trades happening early on in this game. 6 minutes in, and we've got a couple of kills going the way of both squads. Eternal Envy again going for these arcane boots, as he always seems to do when he's playing this Naga Siren. He wants to get that mana up and running. He wants to be involved. Clearly, he's been involved a lot early on, so he is still his ways away from that relic if he's going to be going for that. In fact, he's down at CS at 17. Ice Path coming in. They're going to try to go onto Phobos now. Lightning Bolt's going to fly, and he just time walks right into Eternal Envy, who is hasted through. He grabs an easy kill with his Riptide.
Yeah. And you hate to say it, but at this point, the Tier 1 tower is essentially dead up on the top lane. Like, it's not going to go down with this wave necessarily, but they have the mirror images, they have the liquid fire, that's dropping.
Wow, he TP'd out of a body block for Polar. Lil using, of course, the disruption illusions, and Mag coming in with the static link plasma field, and somehow Bone 7 got out of dodge there, and he stays alive. But bottom lane, Fata's going to have to TP as well. He's going to make it out. Yes, 2 TPs coming from Cloud9. And they both survive. That's 2 kills that could have easily gone Virtus Pro Polar's way and don't. Wow. Alright. And like you said, this top lane tower, it's going to take some pressure. Already liquid fire coming in. That's level 3 liquid fire, by the way. And Bone 7 comes in. He's got Treants as well. So this should be an easy tower to take for Cloud9.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So
Dire's top tower has fallen.
yeah, and Eternal Envy just takes that tower. And honestly, they're just going to keep going. Look at this. Bone 7, the trend doesn't stop. Not for anyone. They want to get more farm, and this is one way to do so. Envy's going to head over to the mid lane currently. He's actually going to get the 8-minute rune, it looks like. The top rune spot's going to be contested as Mag is going to come in. He's going to maybe try to steal some damage, but he pops the illusion rune. Now the ensnare coming out, the lightning bolt as well. And Bone 7 has TP'd back in, and Mag is going to fall just for contesting a rune. This global strategy. Meanwhile, though, they do get the kill on AUI 2000 top as DK Phobos comes in, time walks. They left AUI out to dry there, unfortunately. He kind of got left alone, so.
But space created, really. I mean, him dying up top gives them more time on this tower in the mid, and they've got this full army of illusions and Treants to help them out in this process. So it's a bit of split push for him. They get distracted, and this tower is going to drop down to half HP as a result. Now, it is worth noting that VP Polar really don't have any good hard stuns. Like, they have the Chronosphere and potentially a Bash, and they have the Disruption. Otherwise, like, canceling a TP from Bone 7 or maybe just from a scroll is not going to happen. The tower very low, though. They will contest it, and it looks like they will get some kills.
Oh, big Chronosphere going in. It does miss on a Bone 7, and they actually get songed up. Great song from Eternal Envy. That's a huge R button press. Ice Path onto 2. Are they going to fight this? It actually doesn't go for long. There is going to be that dual breath coming in. Disruption onto Fod to pounce as well. He doesn't have his ultimate. He's done. The heal comes through. Phobos now right-clicking onto Eternal Envy. Static Link goes. Only 1 kill. Ice Path misses, but there's the ensnare to follow up. The dual breath as well. The Riptide's going to fly. Mag low, but purified back to about half HP. Big fight, but only 1 hero dead when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I kind of felt they should have just fully disengaged. I guess they do force Razer back home to lick his wounds. Shadow Demon the same, so maybe they get some more DPS time on the tower, which is just outside deny range. But as it stands, it's just you're losing 1 hero when you didn't need to, and the Jakiro isn't that strong right now. Later on, like him dropping down Macropyre, Ice Path, Dual Breath, that's going to be a big deal after the song. But as it stands right now, it's like, okay, I took 50 damage, and I'll get healed back up. It's not a real threat. So they're going to TP back into mid. They're going to try to force down this tower, and Mag trying to not defend it necessarily, but to try to get the last hit.
He's denying it currently, but he is going to come in.
Nice.
And he actually does get the last hit deny coming off as the liquid fire was on it. Nice play. And that does alleviate some of the gold concern. And Eternal Envy, by the way, is up to 2,000 gold all of a sudden. So, I mean, he hasn't really been farming well. I mean, 33 last hits in 10 minutes is nothing to write home about. But fighting and getting towers, he's got 4 kills to his name, 2 assists. And it's tier 1 tower top, and it's tier 1 tower mid denied. Pretty good stuff coming out from Eternal Envy.
So down bottom, we've got Slurk just farming away here. He has gotten up to 44 CS. Only 1 kill to his name, though, so he will kind of have to up the ante on that one. Just went for the Treads and the Aqua, a very stats-oriented build. Once he connects with a target, the Orb of Venom's flow, plus perhaps an Omni Aura, if he decides to skill that up, will allow him to stay on target for a long, long time. But yeah, as we mentioned, he should be getting another item, either the Blink to close the distance, the Orchid to prevent return spellcasts, anything of that sort. For now, though, it's just going to be him taking a lot of harassment damage from the Venomancer and probably having to go into the Fog of War.
Yeah, he's going to have to regen up with that Shadow Dance here in a moment, it looks like, and he will do so. He's got some Poison Sting damage on him, but he doesn't seem to mind. And Polar are just kind of reverted back towards the jungle now, and they want to get Phobos some farm. He's sitting on Treads. I think something's flying out to him. It is that more of a mask, so he's going to be going for the Mask of Madness. Lil up in the top lane is trying to get to an urn. It's going to be a big item. Zeus ult goes, and they're going to kill bottom with the
nice
Wrath of
combo.
Nature. I did not see how low he was when they were going for him, but they got the kill regardless.
He was like 40%. Like, he had a decent chunk of HP there, but just 1 lightning bolt. He started walking away, and then we're like, yeah, we can do this. Combo the ultis, and down she goes.
It's just that easy coming out from Cloud9. They don't even really have to be close. Top lane, they're going to go in. He just walks into Phobos' line and just riptides him, gives him the how do you do. Phobos is going to try to chase him down. He's like, I don't want to get chronoed. I'm back. And he's up to
Arcane Boots
3,000 gold.
into Radiance. Man, he could pull this build off so strong, but I could see this failing so hard in pubs.
Yeah, don't play Naga first and foremost, and specifically don't build Arcane Boots unless you're like 5k. I think Ponce is up on AUI, he will just TP you away. I just don't trust Naga players in like the 3 to 4k range at all.
Sure enough. Yeah, no, I think the Arcane Boots is actually really strong. It's I would say the only carry that really can reliably go Arcane Boots as a core build, but to do it, you have to know exactly what you're doing, how you're using that mana, and how you're farming with it. In this case, Eternal Envy, he avoids death so many times over. He's 4-0-2, and obviously that's pervaded him to move towards this extremely early Sacred Relic.
This is going to be quite early considering the fact that, again, he doesn't have that much CS. It's 52 now, so he's got up a bit. He'll probably have the Relic in about 14 minutes, maybe a bit earlier. And then he'll have the ratings maybe by 16, assuming everything goes well. So that is not a bad time, considering, of course, he did go for the Arcane Boots. Just something to keep in mind.
And meanwhile, like, the other heroes aren't getting farmed. Like, if Razer goes out to the lane, he's going to get lightning bolted. The Zeus has Tranquil Boots and Soul Ring now, so he doesn't really care about the unstable current counter harassment or the fact that, you know, it costs mana. He's just going to keep spamming. So everybody's farming under their tower right now. The 3 carry heroes from BP Polar are getting minimal income, while Naga just gets to ramp up with her illusion play. They have to get a kill on her, otherwise they're just going to fall too far behind. The Mathematic comes out. There's going to be the Chronosphere. Eternal Envy not with the song. The heal bomb is there. The bashes is what he needs. Just one bash. He doesn't get it yet. The bottle through, and he has to walk away.
Yeah, DK Phobos backs away there. He did get the bash at the end, but not enough. TP bottom lane, but it's not going to work as the lightning bolt comes in. Pilot Eye is dove too far. Fox is going to TP out. There is going to be the usage of that Shadow Demon ultimate. Pilot Eye is going to try to man fight. He realizes he's dead already, but it will be a 1-for-1 exchange. A support, by the way, for your core Razer, which...
And he gets a regen rune. Of course, Eternal Envy gets a regen rune after walking away with 10% HP.
Based Ice Frog coming in again to save his day, and back up to 3,400 in gold. And the Razer going down. Razer's not really been a factor this game. Mag has been ganked a couple of times. He's sitting on a Bracer. Treads, he doesn't have an Aquila yet. He's a Wraith Band. That's all he's really got. Bottle as well, so I mean... sitting at, what, 4k net worth, and that's not too far behind a lot of these heroes, but this is a hero that usually wins his lane, and so far has had some struggles.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, because Bone 7 left the lane once or twice in the laning phase to gank on the top and to rotate and push in general. So I feel like the CS count on Mag should be just a little bit higher than it currently is. But all the same, he's getting there. He's starting to build up the durability items he needs. Drum and Treads will give him movement speed, will allow him to tank up a few shots from all this magic damage. And I think actually a casual cloak would go a long way for him. Just sell some tangos, pick up a cloak, and he should be able to survive a lot more effectively. And I think that goes for almost all the heroes of VP Polar. The magical damage is the thing you're worried about right now, and it's going to be radiating heavily from not only the Naga Siren's item, but the entire team very shortly.
I mean, you have, the macro power starting to get online for the Jakira Haze. He pops it in the lane just to clear a creep wave. In fact, he's got his Void, so now he's working towards his Yule Scepter. Again, Phobos does have the Mask of Madness, so there is that. And you saw that gank in the top lane onto the Naga Siren. Somehow lived and was able to survive through all of that. EE is forming the bottom jungle currently. He has his Relic done now. His Radiance is almost there again. 16 minutes. That was the time we were looking at. It looks like it might be just that. Pounce up onto Pylai Die, but he is fine. There was no disruption coming in from the Shadow Demon. He was not there in time. He will counter ward quickly as he notices that the ward was just placed, so...
Yeah, also the Shadow Dance is a really good tool to keep that revealed. But
True.
We're going to see Fata kind of playing aggressively now, finally scaling up that ultimate now that he has the point booster and the treads. He can in-swap whenever he needs to go for the ultimate, and he's just going to slow down. Illidan Stormrage can't even get in range for the pounce. This is very frustrating for him, and again, no way to cancel TPs.
This has worked maybe like 5 or 6 times for Cloud9. They just kind of just TP away in front of somebody. They say, hey, listen, I know you want to kill me, but I'm just going to leave now. Sorry.
And Fearon's got that all the time, so they really have to be smart about how they move the Shadow Demon and the Void around the map, because they're the only ones that can secure kills.
Yep. And that's the problem when you pick up this Omni Knight. You don't really have a dedicated stun with him. Bone 7's clearing up the Ancient stack right now, in fact. He has 3.7k gold. He is saving a lot of money. Down bottom. Looks like Mag will take this tower. AUI is waiting in the backside. He's going to come in. There's going to be the dual breath going in. Actually, AUI is alone. Big purification coming in. AUI getting caught out. Venomous Gill goes in the bag, but he is repelled, so that really doesn't matter. Sprout is up, though. Really well played from Bone 7.
Oh, the
Plague Ward again from Fata. Purification goes in. There's going to be the Poison Nova. And now they've got to pop the Omni ulti. They're going to come in there looking for Chrono. They don't need it. AUI gets caught out. Mask of Madness, more than enough. They pick up 2 heroes. And as good of a play as that was for Fata, it was not enough as 4 heroes descend under the bottom lane.
Yeah. The Poison Nova actually only hit 1 hero there. It is worth noting that the Guardian Angel no longer heals, so it's not really helpful in that situation, but just the Venomancer didn't get enough targets there. Bone 7 will, having just TP'd to the top lane, be brought down by the Slark. He's able to get a lot of right clicks in, and he does have that Blink Dagger now up and available, so we expect a lot more opportunities to at least initiate on heroes like the Venomancer and maybe the Zeus, but as far as securing the kill, it still comes down to whether or not they can cancel TPs.
Yeah, that was just a solid play, getting that Blink Dagger and getting the kill. So 3 heroes dead from Cloud9 in the span of a minute or so, and one of those is luckily not Eternal Envy, whose Radiance is now done. He needs some time to really get up and running. I mean, Radiance is great. It certainly does help your farm a lot, but he'd like another item. He actually has a Smoke Up and an Invis Rune, and he might come into gank Mag if he had known that he was there, but they don't really have vision. He's going to get pinged out, though. Pylai Die sees that there is a hero here, but Mag just runs right across the river, and he's very speedy, yes, with drums, so he's going to get out just fine.
So Void's going to be going for a Maelstrom here. Nobody's going for like the Midas Greed here. Actually going to be Slark getting Orchided, but he will blink out just before both ultis connect. The Wrath of Nature, the Thunder God's Wrath, both fishing for him, but not going to find it. It's going to be DK Phobos with the Chrono.
Big Chrono coming in onto 2. They just catch AUI 2000. Illidan does blink in. Now he's going to pounce onto AUI 2000. They're going to turn too quickly. Great counter initiation coming out from Virtus Pro Polar. They take the 2 heroes quickly and they tear them down. Lil's going to get maybe chased down. Eternal Envy is up here on the high ground. He is probably going to get this kill. Riptide, he doesn't get the ensnare off. He was trying to. Good disruption. Maybe he won't get this kill. And so, rough. That was pretty good disruption. Pretty good Q press coming out from Shadow Demon there.
Yep, I'm not going to try to keep the push at bottom lane at bay, but end of the day, anybody comes out here, every 30 seconds Zeus can just throw out a big lightning bolt to their face, and the Plague Wards, of course, harass down. It's not a very, like, brute force, knocking down your towers directly, we're committed to a push. It's just hey, there's some Plague Wards, we're gradually wearing you down, and we're going to be able to take this tower in the long run. So, yeah, that's kind of what is going to be enabling them to gain control of the map as a whole, and it's going to be making it limited for VP Polar to get any tower gold off the map, as well as having as much space to farm. Even still, the Slark is finding some good farm. He's going to be looking for that Scotty pretty soon. He's halfway there, and he's going to be going on to Aoi 2000 here.
AUI just walks into the jungle. He's like, I've made a huge mistake. He's going to try to walk out. Ice Path is going to connect, and Ilden's still going to just try to go for this kill. There's the Zeusol coming in to pound Stark back.
Oh, nice.
Bone 7 had TP behind him, but do they have enough damage for this kill with the Ice Path, with the poison over? They absolutely do. They get a kill, and Eternal Envy gets a kill onto the Omni Knight down bottom lane, it looks like, as the Illusions were chasing some heroes down. They get an easy 2 pick off. Wow.
Yeah, and he's actually going to try to steal their Ancients. I don't know if he can do that. He's not a physical damage dealer at this stage in the game. But, yeah, I mean, the fact that the Faceless Void almost died to that, it's just, it's kind of going back to a speed gaming strat from MLG Columbus, where they were just doing disgusting amounts of damage across the entire map. They have, like, Ancient Apparition Blasts and Clockwork Rockets and Elder Titan Spirits and stuff like that, just doing damage from thousands and thousands of units away. And that's what this is reminding me of. If they hit people with the Wrath of Nature and the Thunder God's Wrath, then all they need is a little bit of Radiance damage, maybe a Riptide, or the Poison Nova, and that's going to be kills.
Chrono onto 3 Fatsa. The Maelstrom's going to come with the Song of the Siren, but they have to repel onto Phobos. He's going to get 1 kill. TP, is there Bash? No. And that song was good, but Phobos was alone, just working his magic because of the repel. Regardless, they only get the 1 hero out of that big Chronosphere, and that could have been a lot worse for Cloud9.
Definitely. So, good attempt at the initiation. I really like the repel on the Void in that situation. He's actually maxed it out here. No man mode degen aura, since he is the support enemy knight, not a core. And he is just going to get that 12-second freebie to Void, so he doesn't have to spend 4k on the ever-expensive BKB. So he can just go for the offensive builds, hopefully get enough attack speed to get some bashes and cancel some TPs, because he's going to be the only one dealing damage for the duration of Song of the Siren, which, so far, Eternal Envy has been absolutely on point on. The 2 major songs, the one in the mid lane, now that one on top, have been completely game-changing, and it could have given VP Polar a huge amount of momentum. Instead, we obviously see that they're the ones holding the gold lead, if not the experience.
Yeah, you talked about the Diffusal Blade as well for not only EE, but I think you said the Venomator as well. And at what point does Eternal Envy pick up the Diffusal Blade in this game because of that repel, because of the other abilities of the game? What point do you take that Diffusal Blade?
I guess after the Manta style, you go Manta and then Diffusal, or you could go, if you really wanted durability, you could go Heart and then Diffusal, but I would say Manta then Diffusal, and the Venomancer would go Ags and then Diffusal. It's also a possible pickup on heroes like Fury and Jakiro, but it's much more appropriate on the Venomancer, since the Poison Sting is no longer a unique attack modifier, and he just doesn't really have anything else to go. Like, he can go Veil of Discord, he can go for some right-click items or whatever, but Diffusal Blade will give so much utility to his team.
I have to wait and see when that comes out. They do pick up the bots for Naga Siren, so like you talked about, if he goes for the Manta style first, it's going to take a bit of time before he's going to get that Diffusal Blade. But knowing Eternal Envy, that's going to be gone in a flash. Top lane, Yule Scepter's going to go. There's going to be the Ice Path, Macro Power, big Purification. Repel goes as well, and now he's going to turn his attention to Fatsa. Shadow Dance goes in again. Fatsa just TPs away, and
Bone's like, hello guys, how you doing? I just came to this show with no TP available and sprouted myself in. That was very, very poor decision.
Oh my god, Bone 7, what are you doing, buddy? That was a mistake. Alright, well, it's okay. You live and you learn. Well, he actually died, but that's alright. So he's dead for 33 seconds, so Bone 7 getting caught out, and kind of a weird engagement. Now, here's the interesting thing. If we look at the net worth chart, Eternal Envy is leading the way by about 2,000, and then from there on out, there are 3 heroes for Virtus Pro Polar that are right up there, and then it kind of just, backs off after, of course, Bone 7, so.
Yeah. The major aspect of this is that the Bone 7 went for a gank-oriented build rather than a farming one. He's not Midasing and Necroing here. He's going for the Orchid. He wants to get hero kills, and the result of it is only 2 kills and 5 assists here at the 24-minute mark. Pretty much what you'd expect from if you're in with or without the Orchid. So I don't think it's paid for itself just yet, and obviously VP Polar have much more incentive to farm with this Tricore. So they're going to be kind of playing it safe. They're going to be just taking everything they can off the map, Ancients, jungle, lane, whatever, and it's going to be on Cloud9 to disrupt that without putting themselves in a bad position. We're going to see the repel come in back on the Slark, but that Poison Sting piercing right through and causing him some difficulty. He can't blink, he can't walk at full movement speed, and of course, without the Shadow Dance, because they have vision on him, it's just really hard to close the gap.
This has been really annoying for Illidan throughout the entire game, but it's kind of made sure that he's not as big of a factor. Is Bone7 going to get a courier snipe here?
Oh, that'd be good.
Sprout goes, and oh, they just popped the haste. They had just used it. Zeusol's going to fly. And, well, that's a bit unfortunate coming out for Bone7. Although it's only just a wasted TP. Not that big of a deal. It's a 20-second cooldown. It's about to be up again, for God's sake. So, not the worst thing. He picks the Blade Dagger as well, by the way. And this is a pretty solid game for him for the most part. I do want to mention, you made a very good point. I mean, you had this. There's no guarantee that Eternal Envy could carry in to the late game. There is this Tricore like you talked about, and they're going to jump on to Pile I Die. Chronosphere is going to go, and yeah, Phobos had a pretty good idea of where he was as he was popping the Arc Lightnings from the tree. So he dies.
Envy's going to try to block him in, but the illusions just aren't strong enough yet.
Meanwhile, they will just have Mag come in. BKB, they use the Poison Nova, and both Lil and Mag are to get out as they get the kill on AUI 2000.
Yeah, but Bone7's not so lucky. Yeah. He's just been run down time and time again. Whenever he TPs somewhere, he's very vulnerable. He has to realize that, but he keeps on TPing aggressively, and in this case, his scroll was on cooldown as well, since he went for that courier play, so just couldn't maneuver the way he wanted to, and this Slark is getting fed off of him, honestly. This Slark has suddenly become a prime player with 4 kills, 1 assist, and that perma-repel that seems to be constantly on his own person. So he's actually going for Lincoln Sphere. How do you feel about that?
This is really interesting. It's pretty good against the Ensnare. I'm not sure if this is the best choice, but I think this is fine either way. It's also good against the Eul Scepter, so it doesn't get the Eul's combo going through as well. So
yeah, but he's going to be repelled. I guess it's to stop the Diffusal Blade, right? Like,
yeah, it must be.
If you're repelled, the only thing that'll stop you is Diffusal. And he doesn't want that to happen, so it's preemptive, and essentially whoever gets repelled, Slark can put his Lincoln Sphere on, whether it's himself or the Void. So that's actually really clutch. It means that they have to go for 2 Diffusal Blades at least.
This is really, I like the fact that they're planning for the later parts of this game. They know that these items are going to be coming out eventually, especially on Eternal Envy, who has his Yasha now done. He's getting closer and closer to his Manta style. He's done a really good job of farming. But again, there's no guarantee that he's going to be able to take this game late, especially with how Virtus Pro Polar have played in the past couple of minutes. They've really gotten a couple of kills and made it difficult for Cloud9, and Cloud9 are going to smoke up. They're going to look for a kill, and luckily they might find Mag here. He actually has the BKB. He's going to pop, and he does so immediately. There's the Sprout coming in. They have no way of stopping this TP. Another BKB charge forced there, but he stays alive, and they waste 4 heroes trying to get the kill on him.
Yeah. So we're just going to be seeing them move to the next stage of the game here. There is a BKB up on the Void at 10 seconds, and of course, as we saw, the 8-second BKB now on Razer. So if they just go in all as 5 and they put the repel on the Lincoln Slark, I honestly think they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want. Like, Cloud9 don't have a good lineup against Magic Community, and this is where VP Polar peaks. They're going to have a peak at like 50 or 60 minutes because they have a million carries, and they have a peak right now where their BKBs are at their strongest. So I think they're going to try to start taking towers finally and limit the farm coming out from Eternal Envy.
They're starting to group up together, it looks like, for the most part. This tier 1 tower stayed up for a long time. It might fall pretty soon. The repel is up on Illidan Storm Rage again. His Lincoln Sphere is done. They're going to jump in, pounce on Eternal Envy. He's going to have to song here. He's still leashed up, but for the most part, he's fine. They didn't get the repel off, I believe. It was actually cooling down. Ice Path's going to go. There's going to be the usage of the Venomous Gale. Eternal Envy's gonna fall. They just blow him up. He stayed a bit too long. Poison Nova goes as well. They're gonna pop the Omni ulti as well.
I'm not sure why he keeps
kills.
Guardian Angeling the Poison Nova. That's the only thing I take issue with, is that does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like, fight's breaking out. I better hit my R button. And
reminiscent
like,
of old times where GA actually healed people.
Yeah, I guess maybe he thinks that might be the case still, but
yeah. I don't think he's played that much Omni Knight since the change.
I mean, to be fair, not many people have played that much Omni Knight. This hero's not been picked a lot. I don't have a stats fan, but I can tell you that I'm sure it's under 20 picks or something in this patch.
Yeah. I wouldn't really hold it against him. I mean, it's a recent enough change, and I like you said, like only Evil Geniuses has really picked up Omni Knight consistently. Cloud9's kind of stopped picking him, and yeah, it's just one of those fringe heroes. So in this case, it does seem the way he's using it implies that he believes it heals him, which obviously to the viewers that don't know, Guardian Angel does not provide any HP regen over time any longer.
Yeah, they changed that. Obviously it was pretty good for healing towers up and so on and so forth. So that change obviously coming in the last patch. Bone7's gonna grab 1 creep, unfortunately, 1 small ancient, and he's sitting on. He's had this blink and orchid for a bit. Let's just look at the general items of everybody. A couple of Yule Scepters up across the board. Lots of BKBs on the map, most specifically for Virtus Pro Polar. 2 of them, in fact. One for Mag, one for DK Phobos. And another smoke from Cloud9. Who will they find this time, and can they get the kill? It's going to be Mag. That's not the target they want. Oh, gosh. There is going to be a lot of damage coming in. Zeusol, good repel to make sure he stays alive. Fatsa now getting pounced up again. Poison Nova's not there. And they just blow him up again.
Yeah.
They did get the kill, luckily, on the Omni Knight, but this is some interesting plays coming out. Bone 7 TP'd up into the high ground for whatever reason. They get the kill also in the back end at NUI2 hours and coming out from the Slark there, so...
And they're forced to song. I mean, this is all coming up VP Polar right now. Yes, they lose the Omni Knight, but that's a minimal recompense for them picking off 2 important heroes to the counter push and going in and being able to turn this fight into something more. Maybe a Roche, maybe a tier 2 bottom, but they're in a position to keep this momentum rolling. The Basher comes out on Slark, so the TP issue that we were talking about a lot in the early stages of the game won't be as prevalent now that there are 2 Bash Lords on the field, and yeah, they're going to go straight for the Roshan.
I really feel like this early game benefited Cloud9 a lot, but all of a sudden when these BKBs and the Repel and obviously the Lincoln Sphere came up for Virtus Pro Polar, there is not much that Cloud9 can do. Like you talked about, this is not a good game for Magic Community. If Cloud9 can't deal with the BKBs at this point, they're just going to have to hope that these Magic Community items get low. The BKB gets low in duration, and then you always have Rebel to work with anyways, so... All of a sudden, this game feels like it's very difficult for Cloud9, even with Eternal Envy on the Naga Siren. I mean, they're going to pounce up, they're going to find a hero. It's going to be Zeus, and Illidan gets another easy kill. He got a bash or 2, I believe, in that engagement as well. And he's up to level 20. He is now starting to get out of control like you talked about. He's really hitting his stride.
And he's willing to just jump on to anybody that he sees, illusion or not. It's not like it's a high-end level of investment, and he doesn't expect Cloud9 to be like smoke baiting every single one of these illusions here. They're too worried about their own farm. Fata needs his next big item, whether it be that Veil for the hope and prayer that they're not immune to magic at any certain point in time, or that Diffuser Blade that we've been talking about. But as we mentioned, if that's if they keep on going for the Slark, the Lincoln's Repel combo, that's going to be relatively useless. They can cast a repel on him, but it'll just pop the little blue sphere, and from there it's just not really contributing much. So I think, yeah, they need to look at both Eternal Envy and Fata building up a Diffuser Blade right now if they're going to stay in this game.
And Fata has decent enough money to get started. Phobos is Invis. That's a Chronosphere. That's a Mask of Madness. That's a Mjolnir. Fata is dead as hell. Gets a couple of bashes in there as well, but without those bashes, I think he gets the kill regardless. And they're going to go down mid now.
Yeah. I really don't like the Orchid pickup on Bone 7. It feels like that's a lineup, an item that you get when you're against a lineup that doesn't already have an incentive to go Magic Community. But in this case, you've got a Zeus, a Jakiro, and Venomancer. You've got all the incentive in the world to go Magic Community that the Orchid is pretty well nullified. It still is great against the Omni Knight if he can get it, but so far FNG's positioning has been on point, and now he's got the Force Staff to work around. Bone 7's still going for a Courier Snipe, but not going to find it, even with the Blink. Oh, but Eternal Envy might. There's the snare.
But they will have to TP back home. They're actually going to make sure the creep wave is cut as well, and he's going to pop some illusions with this Mantis Style. He will be able to TP away. So again, I think just the Guerrilla style tactics from Eternal Envy, this might be enough to stop them from pressuring the high ground. The tier 3 tower took a bit of damage, but this illusion is actually being so annoying to them. It's pulling a creep wave so far back, and he's going to get a couple of CS off the back end of this as well. So.
And just how do you push against that? If he's cutting the waves and he's got enough durability on his own illusions, it's going to be extremely frustrating. I think the disruption on Shadow Demon is a mild answer, but it's not like a full-on one. So they're going to have to worry about how they're actually going to be able to break the base. Presumably it's a pick off an Eternal Envy, but obviously he does most of the time have that potential to just song and BOT. And as far as counters go, I don't know, max range Chronosphere put at like him at the opposite end of it, maybe that could do it. I haven't really tested those distances, but otherwise you're going to be in the song. You have to use a BKB to get close.
That's the issue right now, is that Envy is providing a lot for very little. Well, I guess he is farmed up enough. Disruption's got to go through. I believe that was on Illusion. I'm not sure. Maybe not. And Phobos just goes ahead and takes the Ancient Stack. And I think Cloud9 are pulling from behind at this point. Again, despite having Envy being your lead CSer and lead farmer. How much is he actually accomplishing? And meanwhile, Slark just come in. They actually blink away from the Slark that was the Nature's Prophet getting caught out of position. He'll kill a tree, and he actually gets a Hyperstone. So maybe they start him an Assault Cuirass, interestingly enough, for the Slark. They have the Mjolnir already. And yeah, I think this could be an AC.
Yeah, no matter what it is, I mean, he's confident in his durability right now with the Lincolns and with the Omni Knight at his back. So in this situation, he's just like, okay, anything to enhance his damage. And the way Ascent Shift works, all you want is attack speed. So I'm not going to say it's a casual Hyperstone because item slots are valuable, but either item would work fine. The AC or the Mjolnir would work perfectly for what they're trying to accomplish. Though the AC does seem synergized with the Razer a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. A right click, obviously the usage result. Pilot Eye
the
bashed
bash.
up. The last hit bash comes in from Illidan Storm Rage. Thank you very much. I will take that kill. That is more than enough for me. And he's going to try to kill these illusions down bottom as well. He's going to go to work. Blink Dagger now done for AUI 2000, 35 minutes into the game. So the game has gone a bit longer. I mean, if Virtus Pro Polar could just somehow find a way to either kill this Naga or somehow break the base without getting the illusions to pull the creep wave back, they'll be in a good position. And there's the diffusal we were talking about. But again, you talked about the Lincoln Sphere.
And Max can have one too.
Yeah.
Unless he goes for a Refresher. It could definitely be, because he has the Ags and the BKB, the Refresher is pretty valuable here. And I think they only need one Lincolns right now to feel confident.
I think the Refresher's got to dish out enough damage for them to be able to push down or just get plenty of kills, so I think either item is fine. I think Refresher's probably the likely choice on a Razer, but I've been wrong before. He's got a Static Link, and look at this, just the tactics from Envy to pull the creep wave. I mean, I guess the creep wave was pushed in anyways, but it's just so annoying. Look at the Plague Words coming up from Thata.
Yeah, and actually, by the bottom tier 3, he's actually cutting the way. He TP's in, throws out some treants, kills off the creep wave, and then heads home. Like, it's just saying you will not break backdoor protection. We'll not get anywhere near our base. This game is going to go as long as we want it to. We have full control.
And I guess that benefits the Naga Siren, who once gets 6-slotted is very difficult to deal with. There's still plenty of cores for Virtus Pro Polar that they can take this game regardless, but I mean, if everything is going poorly for Cloud9, they could just split push and do this kind of guerrilla tactic where they pull the creep wave back. And they've done a very good job of it as well. And this is got to be so damn frustrating if you're Virtus Pro Polar. You're like, we have won almost every single fight in the past 20 minutes, and we can't even get up into the high ground, or even close to it regardless. We can't even get to the tier 2 top or bottom. Yeah. And he is going to be going for the Refresher, by the way. Mag is going to be picking up an Oblivion Staff, so
Slark is going to go for a play here, but using the pounce, using the blink, still getting caught outside the tree line there. He won't be able to go in. It's going to be actually FNG that gets hit up by the Venomancer, but now Fata will be taking all that damage. DK Phobos going in with his 1-minute cooldown ultimate. Now they picked up the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, I didn't see him grabbing this, and he's got it. Meanwhile, mid lane, they are going to jump in. There's going to be the song up into Eternal Envy. The BKB going for Mag, and they can't get this kill, unfortunately. That's just the song on a 60-second cooldown coming into
No, it's actually
effect.
120. He's not 16 yet, surprisingly.
Really? Yeah, that is surprising. I thought for sure he would be 16. He's actually only 15 currently, so still the 120 cooldown, but they were pushing it top as well, so a couple of heroes rotated over to stop the pressure, and that was including DK Phobos, so
What do you think is the potential of Eternal Envy using the kind of a Valium build-up here, where essentially he uses the song so that they can split push, where they can put like Bone 7 breaking down the high ground with his own Treants, maybe the Venomancer or the Jakira's there as well?
What do you mean exactly?
Just using the song to essentially sleep the entire team so that they can rat it out. Just giving them 7 to 14 seconds, depending on if he has a refresh orb or not, and just trying to break the base without a confrontation.
That's something I've seen Burning do a couple of times. That's been a while. I think Eternal Envy certainly has the capability of doing so, but I'd be very surprised. I think they want to win this game out of sheer brute force and actually being able to take these fights. But
do you think they can though? Like, I mean, they're up against the 60-second Chrono, the Guardian Angel, which is going to be hacked up. I don't know if they can. I kind of feel like rat tactics and every trick in the book has to be pulled out here if they have a win condition for this game.
I agree, actually, because you've seen these past couple of minutes for Cloud9, and this is not a game where they can maybe win straight up. Unless they get a couple of pickoffs and nobody has buyback, they take Roshan, they get an Aegis, all of a sudden it becomes a little bit alleviated, but for now, I mean, it just feels like you look at Bone 7. In fact, he was looking for something. I'm not sure what it was. He's actually got a TP out.
Oh, really wanted that one. The Blink Dagger on cooldown, and then he fuels himself, but yeah. I don't think he finds that kill solo no matter what, because the disruption, the Yules would not. I guess
AUI jukes the chrono, but then walks back into it. But here's a bots coming in from Envy. AUI is gonna fall. BKB for Phobos. They actually cancel. I don't know whose bots that was. I guess Envy was in the jungle the entire time, and then just canceled his bots, going to try to help out his comrade.
Realized he was already dead, and I don't think he wants to 1v1 the Void at this stage. And
No.
Boat7's right back to the spot he was before. Yeah, I don't think the Shadow Demon finds that kill unless he literally casts every spell perfectly. He gets all the Shadow Poisons off, using Disruption to interrupt one teleport, and Yules to interrupt the other one. Then he can do that, like, what, 1,000 damage nuke from a 5-stack Shadow Poison, but yeah.
This is a Rax. They're just going to take this Rax outright. Finally, Virtus Pro Polar take the base. After they get 2 kills, there's no way anyone's stopping the mid push. There was no bots coming up from Envy. He didn't cut the creep wave. Mid Rax is just gone. It is not there anymore.
It's all about pickoffs. It really is. Like, they want, like, I think, 4 or just 3? 3 Blink Daggers to dodge out Chronospheres, and they have the Yules on Zeus to maybe do the same, because they just want to avoid those picks. They want to not get jumped by Slark or by the Void. They want to keep doing their map spread tactics. But as it stands, they make one little error, and it gets punished heavily. Losing both the Veno and the Jakiro allowed that mid lane push, and that sets things in motion for maybe the win for VP Polar.
That's a really solid. I mean, obviously we've talked about it so often that if you're up against a Nagasara and a set of Rax, is not the end of the world. But in this game, it almost is, because again, how do you fight straight up? And now you're getting less farm. And now your mid lane is getting pushed in a bit harder, and you have other avenues of entry coming into the base as well. So Cloud9 now in a position where they have to find something. I don't know how they're going to do so, because it feels like they're so far behind. In fact, they are 15,000 net worth behind. I have not checked the graph for some time. And experienced, somehow they're 40,000 behind. What? Where did this lead come from? I guess it's been there the entire time.
Yeah.
That 40,000 experience lead, though, you look at the hero level chart, and it's all starting to make sense now as we see everything come into place.
It's essentially because of the tactics that have been used by Cloud9. Using Wrath of Nature and Treants to kill creeps for you, using Illusions to kill creeps for you, you don't get experience for that. So they're pushing out the waves, and they're getting farm off the map, but not nearly as fast as VP Polar, who get to take advantage of both jungles, since they have the more threatening map presence. And then at the end of the day, of course, yeah, you just barely are level 16 on your Naga Siren, and everybody else is getting much more farm than that. So
I mean,
they lose out on experience
freaking
gradually.
Ags, man. Like, that's how farmed this team is. He's gonna have an Aghanim Scepter, his Guardian Angel now. It's gonna be global. This is gonna get ridiculous real quick, I think. And Virtus Pro Polar, with probably one more fight, I think they just take this game outright, if they can get this tier 2 tower top especially. But Illidan Stormrage sitting on a Demon Edge. This is going to be the beginning of an MKB more than likely, as the Butterfly has been picked up for the Nagasara. And in fact, he is, again, still the highest in net worth. Top lane, though, there's going to be the old Scepter Ice Path, and they will catch out FNG. He's going to force away. He's going to Purification repel himself. They can't get the kill. They're actually afraid of the follow-up coming out from Virtus Pro Polar. They could have gotten that kill, and they just ran away.
Yeah, but Omni9s, I mean, he's got a lot of nice tools, and when he's not being purged out, he's able to take full advantage of them. Fada's going to go for a Ghost Scepter now, most likely into an Ethereal Blade. Really good for counteracting the Chronosphere initiation, but they keep on making great defensive pickups. They say, okay, well, now we can Blink Dodge this, we can Ethereal nullify that. They keep on stopping the bleeding and limiting the potential initiation from VP Polar, but end of the day, they're still going to find pickoffs, and you're not actually increasing your chance to win the game, you're just losing it less. We're going to see the Yules jump onto the Razer here. He will get the BKB off on time. Usually pretty easy to actually BKB out of the Yules before the Ice Path connects, but he actually cancels his TP, says screw it, now it's time to go. And Eternal Envy is going to maybe have to song here. Losing mana quickly.
He's going to die!
Just
He's dead. He does have buyback, but wow, that bash from Illidan Stormrage, the first hit the RNG god. Wow. Alright.
Well, and you get that much attack speed from an item like Mjolnir, and you're going to be able to rely on those bashes and that Essence Shift steal. I mean, if you didn't get the bash, you might have just been able to steal enough mana away from Naga because of the intellect reduction of the Essence Shift. Now Bone7 going down, and again, you can play defensively, you can buy Blinks and E-Blades and all these other shenanigans to avoid death, but this is a game of Dota. They're going to find a way to bring you down, and when they do, it's going to cost you a Rex.
Illidan Stormrage is going to be pushing into mid. They might rotate around. They need more heroes. He's just going to go to work on this tier 3 tower. He's going to be careful. Pilotai and Fatsa are here. He doesn't have a BKB. He's got to get Repel coming out from the Omni-Knight. So he is waiting, though. They're pushing in quite heavily down bottom.
Slark right in mid.
And he's going to go right on top of Fatsa. Good Ghost Scepter coming through. It's going to end in just a second. Now they will pop up the Plasma Field, and that blows up poor Fatsa. No buyback, and no buyback for Bone 7 either. He's down for 20 seconds. And even with Song, this is still going to be a tough defense coming out, especially with BKBs. Ice Path is going to go. They're sending the illusions in. The Repel goes for Illidan Stormrage. He'll back up Shadow Dance more than likely. And now Phobos is going to clean up all of these illusions. Purification goes again. They're going to go right up to the high ground. Eye of the Storm goes, but it's still taking down this tier 3 tower. And this tier 3 tower might fall. Macro Pyre, but now the Song is over. They don't have thoughts to jump in. Chronosphere, but only onto Pilotai. Good Ice Path there as well. And the Sprout coming in. Pilotai might survive this. He's going to blink out BKB. And now they ensnare up DK Phobos. They haven't taken the racks yet. They're going to start to go back in again. Assault Cross. It's now done. And they're working on this racks. It's going to be a second set done in just a second. Well, at least they made the racks is going to go down. There's the Orchid onto Lil. EE is chasing after Mac, who's getting low to the Radiance Burn. Bone 7 gets a kill onto Lil in the backside. Illidan does pick up one hero. Pounce coming in. Bash not there. Now they're going to work on Eternal Envy. Himant is out. He's going to try to get away. The poison over the Shadow Dance is going. He wants this kill. He can't find it. He's going to have to pounce away. Purification and the Repel.
Oh.
Now there's going to be the Orchid up. Now on the high ground. Bone 7 right-clicking down. Godlike for Illidan, though. He's going to work. And EE is so low. Now there's going to be the defusal. They want this kill on Eternal Envy. He's going to have to time walk up to the high ground. He wants Bone 7 instead. The Bash Lord and the Mjolnir proc comes in as well. How lucky can you get? GG is called. And Cloud9, they were leading in the beginning of the game, but the Tricore from Virtus Pro Polar, the pick-off Central coming in. They get game number 1 going their way.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it plays out. 46 minutes, the Tricore really kicks in. The Omni-Knight turns out to be a really strong pick with a smart Linken's pickup on the Slark. If he hadn't gone for that Linken's, I actually think this would have been really